Hello, world. Welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. Hello, world, and welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. We're broadcasting live from the Joy Virtual Studio right here in the beautiful, snowy Finger Lakes region of New York State. It's so great to be with all of you today. It is Thursday, February 13th, and we're live on Rumble, live on Twitter, Spreely TV, Roku TV, Apple TV, every podcast platform you can ever imagine, reaching upwards over 1.5 million eyes and ears every single month. And we do it all independently. It's all because of you guys and our amazing sponsors. Colonial Metals Group, thank you for sponsoring the Shannon Joy Show. PCM and Associates, that's Don Polano, my financial advisor. And of course, the Satellite Phone Store. Annie is producing the show today. Annie, it is great to be with you. Thank you so much for your amazing production. She presses the buttons for me now so I can focus on all of you. No beanie for today, Vidana. I actually had time to do my hair. I want to slow things down a little bit. Feel like, as I've mentioned to you over the past few days, past few weeks, it has been a fire hose in the face kind of situation. The news cycle is moving very fast. And as an independent, right, I don't align with Democrats or Republicans. I criticize people in power. So any entity that commands an enormous amount of power, we are going to scrutinize and critique here on the Shannon Joy Show. And we have no political alignments, neither with the left or the right, Democrats or Republicans. And so my job is a little bit harder than those in the partisan news media who really simply can just grab talking points and regurgitate them and repeat them to their audiences. Every day, I'm looking at all of the headlines from the left and the right, trying to find the themes of truth and moving around, being very nimble when it comes to finding sources that are honest and that are telling the truth. It's very difficult. I've been doing this for 12 years, and finding the truth is very, very difficult. I don't know how you guys do it as normies, people who don't pay attention to this stuff every single day like I do. I don't know how any average American who is really sick of the two-party political circus, who understands that for the most part, both of these parties work together and to the detriment of the average American who is just trying to survive, build a business, build a family, and get a nut in this world. That's who I work for. I work for all of you. And with this rapid and accelerating news cycle, sometimes with all of the guests, we kind of move through material very quickly on the show. And I don't want to move too quickly. I don't want to try to tackle themes that you guys aren't with me. We're also gaining a massive new audience as we are platforming out via podcast, partnering up with Radcast Network, which is delivering unbelievable numbers. I think that we had in last week, in the course of 6 days, 1.6 million downloads with this new marketing company that I'm working with. And we are going after that independent audience, right? People who love America, people who love our Constitution, who believe in small government, who believe in separation of powers, who believe in informed consent and the consent of the governed, that we, the people, should have privacy. We have a right to privacy and due process and free speech and the right to our bodily autonomy. All of the things that were laid out in our Constitution by our founding fathers, who understand that this is not a democracy. It never has been a democracy, but is very concerned. Those of you who know something is very wrong at the top, that over the past 15 years, 10 to 15 years, first with Obama, then with Trump, then with Biden, now with Trump again, that we are accelerating to something that is going to change everything. That this path we're on as a nation is unsustainable. And even though every political party or politician will say that every 4 years or 2 years in order to earn your votes and wield the apparatus of power from Washington, D.C., they lie to us. They say they're going to change things and they're going to reform things and things are going to get better and they're going to work for the little guy and they're going to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse and they're going to cut the spending and all of the things. The Republicans play to the talking points and the red meat that drives the Republican Party, and the Democrats do the same thing for their constituencies, and they pit us against each other cycle after cycle after cycle, but the budget continues to grow and the deficit continues to grow and the inflation continues to come. Yesterday's report on inflation is devastating. Everyone's acting surprised that no, inflation is not coming down post-election. It is ramping up. And people like Peter Schiff are saying that we could see inflation double or triple again. It is unbelievable what they are doing to the little guys. And yes, we have DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and Elon Musk at the helm, but are they really cutting anything? And so I wanted to slow the show down a little bit. Today, it's just you and me, mano a mano. Tomorrow, no guests, just you guys and me going through some really important material. I have a huge show for you today. Lots of very important truth tellers out there that will help you prepare for what is coming. And what is coming could be imminent as early as mid-March, as the government officially goes bankrupt. They're going to need a new budget reconciliation and a new budget battle, but everything is kind of ramping up and we need to be prepared. So we're going to slow everything down. Make sure you guys ask questions. I have Annie here who is running the show today and she's watching the live chat. She is picking up, she's on under ACU News. And so she's looking at your comments and your questions. I want to get to those comments and questions at the end of the show today. So we're going to go for an hour and a half. We're going to go through the headlines and the headlines that you'll find in my top headlines of the day. I will answer some of your questions if I can, and hopefully try to engage with you guys on the live chat. So that is the agenda for today. So I'm going to say hello to all of you. It is getting, so we have a couple agenda items. It's getting hot on Twitter. I'm being heavily attacked by the bots and the trolls. So is Naomi Wolf. It's not surprising. I should not be surprised by this. As one of the lone critics of Elon Musk and DOGE, it is getting very real on Twitter. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to go through Naomi Wolf's piece very closely. I went through her piece. It's probably about 12 pages printed out. I went through line by line, pulled out the most important aspects of it, put it in layman's terms, wrote it up, and we're going to go through her piece, The Sack of Rome, Elon Musk's digital coup. This is critical, okay? There are things in motion that are happening right now, and the outcome will be dependent on what we, the people, do, right? Whether or not we accept the government solutions to what will be a financial or fiscal or monetary crisis, whether it happens this year or next year is unknown, but it is going to happen. And the apparatus that Elon is building is critical. That is the apparatus, in my opinion, that we are going to have to fight against and reject. Naomi believes that Elon Musk and the tech bros that surround him, and many that have been put in a position of power within Trump's cabinet, including Susie Wiles, that's my opinion, not Naomi's, are perhaps working against this president, and that Trump does not realize what they're setting up. But Elon Musk's DOGE and the Stargate initiative and this apparatus of command and control AI-generated government and total surveillance of every American on the face of the planet, plus a digital currency and a social credit system, that is the apparatus being built as I speak to you right now. And it has everything to do with Elon invading our personal data on February 2nd for a full weekend with his team of technologists. So we're going to go through that. It's incredibly important that you guys understand it. And again, I'm getting a ton of flack over this from conservatives, from constitutionalists, from people who are telling me to sit down and shut up. I have Trump derangement syndrome. I have Elon derangement syndrome. We're so disappointed in you, Shannon. Settle down. Your hair's on fire. You're blackpilling everyone. They're calling me Chicken Little. I am not Chicken Little. I'm not afraid. You shouldn't be afraid, but we should be ready to resist. And this is going to hopefully help us be prepared for that resistance. So we're going to go through the problem with DOGE. We're also going to go through the problem with the technocrats. The main issue I have with Elon Musk and DOGE is the fact that they are socialists and technocrats. And the problem with technocrats is that they seek to usher in a new 21st century global techno-feudalism, meaning dictatorship, monarchy, the rule by the 1%. We have no rights. We have no fundamental civil liberties, natural rights, or constitution, or a Bill of Rights. There is no separation of power. There is only one power, and that is the technocrat. It is the elite 1%. And that is my biggest problem with Elon Musk. He has not convinced me that he believes in our constitutional system of government. In fact, he never mentions it. So we are going to look at the problem with the technocrats, and we're going to explore a gentleman named Chris Yarvin. Chris Yarvin is the darling of right-wing media. He was ushered in by J.D. Vance, one of the top technocrats, and his philosophy is absolutely the antithesis of rule by the governed, consent of the governed, our constitutional system, separation of powers, and fundamental God-given natural rights that are endowed by our creator, okay? Not by Chris Yarvin or a technocrat or Elon Musk or Donald Trump or a certain political party or Anthony Fauci or Joe Biden or anyone. We have individual sovereignty and worth as human beings with a soul. Okay. The technocrats are soulless and in many ways anti-human. And their philosophy seeks to subjugate. We are handing them power. And you guys need to understand that. So we're going to go through his belief system. Very good piece in the Financial Times. Remember, Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir, another technocrat raking in billions, if not trillions of dollars from our federal government, said, "This is a revolution. Some people will get their heads cut off." That's a quote. And he is raking in massive amounts. This is Peter Thiel's company. Peter Thiel is aligned with the techno bros, and they are amassing an enormous amount of power. Everything hinges on Elon Musk as the Trojan horse to bring in the technocracy. Does Trump know about this? Is he aware of this? Is he okay with it? Many on the right are saying, hey, Shannon, we need to do this, right? We don't have a constitution anymore. Don't you realize the Democrats have destroyed everything and we need a strong man? We need a dictatorship. Yeah, it's a little bit scary, but we have to do this. There's no other choice. This is what I'm getting from medical freedom movement people and freedom movement people and conservatives. They're telling me, well, Shannon, we need a dictator. Sorry, we need a dictator. Things are so bad. They're so corrupt that they need to go in very fast, break everything, and build something new. And I'm saying, you know what? We can do this the constitutional way. That is a false choice. We don't have to swap out one dictator for another, handing them all of that power, only to be seized by a worse dictator down the road. We can do this the constitutional way. We can do this in a way that maintains the best part of our foundational system and reinvigorates it, that devolves power to the local governments, into the individual sovereign. We can use technology to further privacy. We can use technology to emancipate ourselves from the federal apparatus and even from a state apparatus. So this is not a Luddite movement of we don't want any technology at all, but we need to have this discussion, and we absolutely need a robust discussion about privacy as they build these systems and seize all of our data. How can they use that data against us? Naomi lays it out in this piece, and we will talk about that as well. Also, the headline, you guys saw it today. I'm going to say hello to all of you in a moment, and then we'll go to break and we'll get into the body of the show. I'll read some of your comments. But the headline today, literally hours after Elon Musk in the Oval Office, flanked by President Trump with his son in front of all of the cameras, defends the Department of Government Efficiency and waxes poetic about the horrors of waste and fraud and abuse happening over at USAID. Literally hours after that, it is reported, and he has acknowledged that Elon's Department of Give Me Everything is now scooping up not only your data, but very lucrative government contracts from the State Department. DropSite News is reporting the State Department's procurement forecast, revised as of late December 24, lists Tesla as the recipient of the largest expected contract, with Marco Rubio's State Department planning to buy $400 million of armored Tesla. Now, the right is saying, shut up, Shannon. This was Biden's procurement. This was part of Biden's government, right? So this was laid out and this was set up during the Biden administration. But that doesn't mean it isn't wasteful and it isn't inefficient. If Elon is the head of DOGE and his job is to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse and inefficiencies, isn't it, I don't know, incumbent upon him to look at something like $400 million in useless Teslas? And again, the Teslas were procured as part of new sustainability efforts to combat global warming. All right. So that's why the government is buying the Teslas. It's to replace what they have in their fleet with electric vehicles that are more environmentally friendly and will meet sustainability goals. So wouldn't you think that that Elon, as a sign of goodwill, would give back the $400 million in that contract, especially seeing that we are, I don't know, in massive amounts of debt. We are spending $100 billion per month just to service the US debt. It will be $1.7 trillion that we spend as taxpayers. Inflation is through the roof, right? So is the government purchase of $400 million in Teslas really an efficient use of taxpayer dollars? Joe Biden set up the USAID funding, and according to all the conservatives, Elon got rid of it. So why doesn't Elon get rid of this? Their arguments in defense of this, conservatives and libertarians, fall flat. This, to me, is evidence, very clear evidence, that Trump, Elon, and the DOGE are not really serious about actually cutting government spending or pursuing efficiencies at all. And this is playing out because USAID, by the way, and I pushed all this out yesterday on Twitter. Again, I mentioned because I'm being hammered by bots and trolls because I dare to speak up and talk about this. USAID, by the way, represents less than 1% of all government spending, about 0.6%. It is a drop in the bucket. No cuts have actually been made. Cutting the budget happens at the congressional level. The president has a lot of power in terms of moving money around. But at this point, the money from USAID has not been cut. It has not been returned to taxpayers. It has not gone to bring down the US debt and deficit. It's simply being shifted and moved over into other agencies. Nothing has been cut. The only way to meaningfully cut is through the congressional budget process, which will start up in mid-March. Okay. And so that is when we will know if actual cuts happen. But we know that's not going to happen. We know that there will be zero budget cuts because just yesterday, Donald Trump has pledged and is asking Congress, Democrats and Republicans, to raise the debt ceiling. This happened yesterday. In addition, Donald Trump joined yesterday with Democrats to demand that the Federal Reserve continue to slash interest rates, which will continue to ramp up inflation in a devastating way for the American people. So the USAID is a bunch of razzle-dazzle red meat pitched to a conservative audience by lazy presenters in conservative media and MAGA and BizarroCon that at this point, the rhetoric is not being matched by actual discernible policy outcome. Maybe I'm wrong. And quite frankly, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong about these predictions. I hope that Trump and Elon Musk are the saviors and the heroes that everyone in conservative media wants to believe that they are. I am just skeptical at this point because there is way too much writing on the wall. By the way, RFK Jr. confirmed. And so this is great news. Steve Kirsch just pushed this out. RFK Jr., I believe the vote was 51-47, easy confirmation for Robert Kennedy Jr. as the head of Health and Human Services. This is a victory, and this is, at the very least, an optics victory. One of the highest profile anti-vaxxers in the United States of America, now firmly entrenched within the federal government as the head of HHS, an enormous amount of power. He commands control over the CDC, the NIH, the FDA, and the entirety of the government apparatus when it comes to health. And so this is absolutely amazing news. I'm less optimistic than many others, but we're going to wait and see what happens. All right, so we're going to, unbelievable. Yeah, so I have renamed DOGE to Elon's Department of Gimme Everything, right? You can't have it. You can't have it. Waste, fraud, and abuse. But when it comes to my government corporate welfare, all of the bennies, and by the way, you know, USAID is kind of like this clunky, old-fashioned, whatever. Again, very tiny percentage of spending. The majority of the spending is happening with entitlements. We know that. But the Department of Defense, the military industrial complex, all of the massive government contracts that are sent out to people like Elon Musk. It is, I mean, these are massive, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be cutting anything there. In fact, they're going to be expanding and growing that apparatus through initiatives like Stargate, which is absolutely terrifying. Okay. So this is what we're going to do today. You guys look great on the live chat. Let me say hello to all of you. Annie, thank you so much for pulling up some of the chats. I appreciate that. Bunkman RFK Jr. has been confirmed. Source, the McCullough Foundation. Unbelievable. Great news. Rothan Walker, here's a question about DOGE. Great to see you, Rothan Walker, by the way. Has anyone provided any concrete, definite mechanism of the supposed cuts that are happening? People are reporting funding being cut, but is it really happening? The answer is no. And I guess I'm the only girl that is going to tell you guys about it, right? Because nothing's been cut. Nothing. Zilch, zero, nada. And that makes people really angry with me. I have the bots and the trolls on the attack, the algorithmic suppression, porn bots all of a sudden, all over my feed, which is really weird. And, you know, I should have known this would happen though. Like, it's Elon's playground. Elon controls the algorithm. Elon can suppress anyone. Elon can, use that algorithm to bolster all of the accounts and all of the talking points and all of the propaganda that he wants to push out. So it's really hard to see Twitter at this point, the twit, as a bastion of free speech. It is highly political. I don't know how much longer I'm going to last on Twitter. If something goes down and I'm really suppressed, I will probably move to Substack. But great question. The answer, though, to your question is no. We have no definitive proof of any cuts. And again, Donald Trump would not be asking Congress to raise the debt ceiling if he were planning any cuts whatsoever. So this is just going to be a moving around of the money. They're going to take the money from people they don't like and give it to people they do like. They're government contractors, a lot of the techno bros, the people who put Donald Trump in office, Peter Thiel, the billionaire bankers, the technocrats will get the big government contracts. They will get the largesse. Now, you might like that. I don't trust the technocrats, so I don't like it. I don't trust them anymore. In fact, I trust real analog human government, even if it's run by a Democrat, more than AI-driven, we own everything, you have nothing, eats the bugs, technocrats, 100%. So we're replacing humans, clunky as they are, with something new, and it's very dangerous. But you can't say that on Twitter. Guitar Lily, Shannon, go to Clout Hub when Twitter cancels you. Thank you, Guitar Lily. I am on Clout Hub right now. I also like Pickaxe. That is Jeff Dornick's platform that he is building, True Free Speech. In fact, Pickaxe is sponsoring the Summit for Truth and Wellness on March 29th. We are so thankful for their sponsorship. You're going to meet Jeff Dornick here on the Shannon Joy Show, and he's coming to Rochester, New York on March 29th to join me and Mary Talley Bowden and Dr. Pierre Corey and Dr. Naomi Wolf. And yes, Sasha Latapova confirmed last night she is coming to the Summit for Truth and Wellness. Major Tom Haviland will be there. Aaron Day will be there as well. Paul Stone, the CEO of Colonial Metals Group, will come on our panel as a financial expert. Jeff Dornick as well. It's going to be an amazing event on March 29th, full day event right here in Rochester, New York. We get to spend a whole day together and engage in free discourse about what is happening in this country. It's going to be awesome. Get your tickets at summitfortruth.com. That's summitfortruth.com. Yes, Twitter completely politicized, 100%. Studio 8424 says they do not want to prove any cuts. They just want you to believe that they are cutting. Good point. All right, Annie has gotten a couple other chats. Let me just say hello to all of you. Drouth, welcome to the live chat. It's great to see you. Mark Thuragan, you look great today. Thank you for being with us on the live chat. We have Strident Conservative. That is David Leach. Guitar Lily, get your tickets right now. Thank you, Guitar Lily, for popping that Summit for Truth link in the live chat. If you are within driving distance, so I want to see people from Vermont and Maine and New Hampshire, New Jersey, Connecticut, Ohio, Pennsylvania, come to Rochester, New York, and we get people flying in from all over the country as well. So it's such a great day. It's such a great event, and I can't wait to host all of you. Let's see who else we have. We have some other comments on the live chat here. Ooh, some good ones. Oh, Mav22, thank you. Shannon, you are on point, and those that are awake know it. Those who don't will find out soon enough if they don't wake up. Thank you so much, Mav22. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I really want to get it right for you guys. I don't want to be right about some of the things that I predict because we're going to have some trouble. So it's not about me wanting to be right about things, but I do want to be accurate. I want to bring you guys good information. And I really do put a ton of pressure on myself. I was talking to devastatingly handsome Dr. Joy yesterday and lamenting a little bit. I'm like, the whole fire hose thing. I'm like, in these moments when things are moving very quickly and psyops are happening and there's a huge tidal wave of propaganda pushes. And I'll tell you, the cult of personality propaganda push surrounding Elon Musk is incredibly intense. It's incredibly intense right now. And it includes going after people like me, isolating and destroying voices who are speaking up against this. And they do it through bots and trolls. They have clearly a psychological profile of me and they really attack it. The level of sophistication on social media is amazing to me. But I know they're bots and trolls. They come in and they really push my buttons. Then I go in and I see, oh, it's, Sugar 23678 who just joined in 2004 and has 0 followers, right? So the bot farms come out, but it really does take a toll on your soul and your spirit. And so I was lamenting to Dr. Joy yesterday, and he said to me, he gave me the best advice. He said, listen, Shannon, you need to settle down and take a deep breath. You don't have to be right about everything. And there's no way I can know everything. They don't divulge their plans to us or to me. So I don't know exactly what is going to happen. I can only base what I think is going to happen on what they're saying publicly, the patterns that I'm seeing, and past experience. But he said, you don't have to be right about everything. Your audience doesn't expect that, right? Like all we can do, I don't have to save the world, and neither do you, right? We can just go through this journey together, right? I am white knuckled on this roller coaster along with all of you. I don't have access to all the information. I am just like you, independent. I have Annie helping me run the show, but the things I say to you are the things I truly believe, whether or not I'm right or wrong. Okay. And you guys have the discernment and the wisdom and the knowledge to figure out, where you're going to go and what you're going to hold on to in terms of information. And so that just really took the pressure off. And I was so thankful that he said that because I want to do a good job for you guys. And, I worry that things are going to get really precarious. And so the messaging gets so complicated, and there is so much dishonesty out there on the right and the left that explaining these things to people from outside of that two-party political paradigm is hard to do. And so I really appreciate you, Mav 2022, for saying that. I needed to hear it today. Guitar Lily has a comment. All this Elon BS is going to make everyone think how awesome Elon is. People will stop paying attention, and then we're going to have chips in our foreheads, right? The demonic thing I have here, I might not even get to it. This is entitled Batshit Crazy Demonic Themes Surrounding Elon Musk. I wrote them all down. I don't even know if half this stuff is true or they're just trolling us. But Hey everyone, let's talk about something that most people don't even think about. EMF protection. Everywhere we go, we are surrounded by electromagnetic fields, Wi-Fi, cell signals, and countless other sources. If you're like me, you want to protect yourself and your family, and that's where the Faraday beanie from sat123.com comes in. Yes, it's cute, it's sassy, but it's also an EMF blocking machine. Whether you're commuting, working, or just relaxing at home, the Faraday beanie gives you an added layer of defense against the invisible waves around us. And just like everything else at sat123.com, this beanie is made with quality and care by people who value your safety. Don't wait to take control of your well-being or your family's well-being. Go to sat123.com right now. Use that promo code JOY, J-O-Y, for an extra 10% off. They have great colors, great styles, and all of your Faraday needs. So the Faraday blankets, bags, pouches, and of course, the Escape Zone beanies, which I love, love, love. I wear this every single night. 10% off right now at sat123.com. That's sat123.com. Stay safe, stay stylish, stay warm with the Faraday beanie from sat123.com.
After a lifetime of hard work and smart investing, the last thing you want to worry about is losing your retirement savings. Hi, I'm Paul Stone, CEO of Colonial Metals Group. We specialize in helping hardworking Americans like you take back control of their financial future, safeguard their savings. In economic times like these, millions turn to physical precious metals as a form of insurance, while conventional investment choices face challenges or even collapse. If you have an IRA, 401k, or other type of retirement account, my team at Colonial Metals Group would like to help you build a financial protection plan outlining the most secure future for you. We've put together a free protection kit showing how you can start investing in precious metals 100% tax and penalty free to protect and grow your wealth. You can download it for free now by clicking the button below. Customers, we're very proud to say, across the country have been very impressed by my team's in-depth knowledge of financial history and their ability to listen to you. We hold the same conservative values you hold, and on ones our great nation was built on. and we can't wait to start helping you and working with you. Again, just click the button below to download our Retirement Protection Kit for free now.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show. Little technological glitch there. Thank God for Annie, my amazing producer, who went right to break. But we had a glitch and everything shut down right as I was talking to you guys about the batshit crazy demonic themes surrounding Elon Musk. And the list that I made yesterday, maybe I'll have time to go through this list with you. It's not at the highest on my list. I mean, there are a lot of things that Elon is proposing, and what he did on February 2nd with our private data in the United States of America are very concerning to me. And I sometimes wonder if he doesn't do the Baphomet thing or all the demonic symbolism to, I don't know, provoke people or play with us a little bit. I just don't know. But it is weird. His grandfather was weird. His father was weird. His mother is weird. His associations are weird. He's weird. Everything's weird. It's just weird. Even the press conference in the Oval Office with his son, who is now a permanent fixture on his shoulders. Like, it's like a prop that he just takes around with him everywhere he goes. It's just all weird. It's all weird. So right as I was saying that, we went out, which is really weird. MAB 2022. Yeah, batshit crazy demonic themes do not like being exposed. And so, yeah, the tech demons attack for sure. And I'm just so thankful for Annie and so thankful for all of you. You guys are amazing on the live chat today. I'd like to get to Naomi's piece on the sack of Rome, Elon Musk's digital coup. And then we're going to look at, as we get into the meat and potatoes of this show, at the end, this is a very good thread. I'm going to read the entire thread to you at the end of the show because I think they're nailing exactly what is happening. Now, this guy, it's Matt Smith. On Twitter, his handle is @Matpheus, which I think is a play on Morpheus, if you like the Matrix. He has 11,000 followers. He's an entrepreneur, a cattle rancher in Uruguay, and the host of a podcast, but he's a relatively small potatoes Twitter profile. And this thread has garnered 4 million impressions in less than a day. And it's being retweeted by some of the financial, economic, and monetary experts that I follow and I trust. I think he nails it. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to read you just the first part of this thread. Then we'll just to whet your appetite as to what we're going to do at the end of the show. But this is what he writes in just the first part. Buckle up. There is a massive move happening in the gold market that almost nobody's talking about. And he's right. Huge physical deliveries, shortages in London. Gold is flowing into the US at record levels. Someone with deep pockets is scooping up gold. Hopefully some of you guys are scooping up gold too with Colonial Metals, like the US Treasury or Fed. So something is happening in the metals markets and it's big. And so he shares the sentiment that this is a 12-part thread. He explains why this is happening, the end game, what he thinks is happening, how inflation plays into this, what to do if you're a regular person, and the bottom line. And he nails it. So he's echoing the sentiment that I'm hearing from Greg Manarino. By the way, Greg Manarino had a very good last 2 market updates. He's over on YouTube. He's been a guest in the Shannon Joy Show. He gets it. He's nailing it. He gets it. Peter Schiff knows what time it is. Catherine Austin Fitz, Solari report, get her report. Ed Dowd wrote his report for investors, just to name a few of the people who understand that you guys can go to for another opinion about what is going to go down in perhaps the next few weeks or the next 12 months. So that's at the end of the show. Guitar Lily. This happens in many of the podcasts I listen to. It's a sign that Shannon is making serious waves. You think so? When the tech bots and the tech demons attack, for sure. Strident Conservative is a wonderful resource as well. Good to see you, David. Hey, Ranger, 1791. You look great. Buskman, Dr. Joy rocks. Amen, Shannon, Joy family. Yes, I'm so thankful for Dr. Joy yesterday. It just made me feel like immediate peace. Just the knowledge. You don't have to be right about everything. I don't have to predict everything. And I don't have to save everyone. You don't have to save everyone. We just need to go through this together, support each other, keep our heads on straight, keep calm, and carry on. Never be afraid, never fear. And don't take whatever it is. There's going to be, I get the sense that they're going to offer something up to us or try to coerce us into something, whether it is a digital ID or a digital currency or a social credit system, right? The same way they tried to coerce us into the vaccine, the shots, the poison shots. And that's the sense I'm getting. And I'm also sensing very, very serious PSYOP themes. Like I feel like it feels like COVID to me right now. Just the relentless propaganda push. And the Democrats are on one side, the Republicans are on the other side. It's amazing to me that the most controversial position to hold in today's political theater is one of rejecting both parties, right? That makes me one of the most controversial talk radio hosts, podcasters on the face of the planet, because everyone is trying to wrench us into one side or the other. Pick a side. Pick one dictator or the other dictator, one demon over the other demon. It's always the false choice, right? And so they isolate people like me and like Naomi Wolf and some of the other people who are like, I don't want either. And I see a big problem with all of this, right? They got to pick us off one by one, isolate us, make us think we're crazy, gaslight us a little bit. And so when I'm sensing that, it's just highly uncomfortable. But then I come back, I talk to all of you, and I just bare my soul, and you all make me feel better, just like Dr. Joy. KB Smile, keep discussing. Your emotions can be a guide to deeper understanding your real truth. And yes, I am emotional. I try to be analytical here in the show, but these are emotional issues. These are my children, your children, our freedom, our privacy, our future, our ability to pursue happiness, our bodily autonomy. All of these things are very personal and deeply emotional. And we're going to continue talking about them. Ranger 1791. I used to be devastatingly handsome. Now I'm just devastatingly old. Dr. Joy has aged very well. He is a silver fox. Very handsome man. Love him to death. He's great. Yeah, I don't want to pick one demon over the other. Not at all. All right, so we talked about the armored Teslas. Let's get to the Naomi Wolf piece. Annie, what are we doing? How are we doing for time on the show real quick? Okay, awesome. Okay, so we have half the show left. This will give me some time to go through this. I just blew through Naomi's piece, The Sack of Rome, Elon Musk's digital coup, a couple days ago or yesterday. And we need to do it more justice, and we need to get through this so that you guys understand, I think, what's going on here. And so this is a great piece printed out. It's about 12 pages long. I really encourage all of you to read through the whole thing and remember this, because, this is the infrastructure, what Elon potentially did. And we don't know. There is no transparency. When he spoke at the press conference yesterday, he got up and said, well, we're fully transparent. We're telling you everything we're doing. We're posting for you on the DOGE website. We're showing you the information that we're gathering. The truth of the matter is, we have no idea what they did. We know that they gained access and new information has come out, but the extent of what they did, we have no understanding. And what they could have done could be absolutely devastating. In fact, it is something that Naomi writes here in this piece that cannot be undone. So we have to understand this. And I think we just have to be ready to reject a digital currency, a digital ID, and a social credit scoring system. That's what we're going to have to reject Elon. We're going to have to say no to Elon Musk. You cannot be our dictator. You're not going to be our technocrat. We know that you like your gadgets and your brain chips and your transhumanism and all your demonic playthings and costumes or whatever it is that you do, okay? Because you have way too much money. By the way, Elon Musk became the richest man in the world post 2020. Did you guys know that? That he wasn't the richest man in the world before 2020. It was only after the single largest transfer of wealth from Main Street to the oligarch class, the billionaire class, that Elon made his riches. And yes, CJP Rumble, he's got his hand deep, deep, deep in the cookie jar. One of the biggest welfare queens out there through all of his 6 companies that he runs, massive government contractor, Department of Defense contractor. That is Elon Musk, and he is now in charge of almost everything. If you believe what Naomi Wolf rolls out here in the Sack of Rome, Elon Musk's digital coup. So the big idea here, let's get into it. The big idea is that the technocrats, according to Naomi, are bigger at this point than the president of the United States of America. That Donald Trump unwittingly or wittingly, you decide, may have ushered in a Trojan horse of technocracy that has the ability now, that could have the ability to utterly crush him, crush his support, crush the country, wage cyber attacks, use our private information against us, complicate and confound the markets, you name it. And so the technocrats, the technocratic class, and again, this is, if you want to know who I'm talking about here, the tech bros, go back to the PayPal mafia, people like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Vivek Ramaswamy, JD Vance, who is a creation of Palantir's Peter Thiel, obviously Alex Karp, Bezos, Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Eric Schmidt. All of these Silicon Valley bros have gotten so big that I think they can take over the world. And what better feather to put in your cap than, well, the United States of America. And so what Naomi is cautioning here is that in the wee hours of February 2nd, the technocrats could have seized a devastating amount of proprietary data that can help them in their goal of owning everything while we have nothing. So the big idea here is that technocrats are bigger than presidents. They are bigger than dictators. They are bigger than nation states. And they'd like to think that they're bigger than even God himself, the creepy ones, the transhumanists, which, by the way, Elon is a transhumanist too. So you can't make this stuff up. So Elon, according to Naomi Wolf, could have orchestrated, and it's unfathomable to think that he wouldn't, right? If you have access to all of this, I mean, trillions upon trillions of dollars of proprietary data, like gold data. I mean, who wouldn't take it? Especially if you're a ruthless business person that gets things done. So she's positing here that Elon could have and may likely have orchestrated a coup d'etat. And that if he did, this cannot be undone. Big problem. Okay. So for those of you who need a definition of technocracy, we've done multiple shows on it here in the Shannon Joy Show. I encourage you to search on Rumble, Shannon Joy Technocracy. I've done a couple shows with Patrick Wood. I've broached this topic with Aaron Day, who will be at the Summit for Truth and Wellness on March 29th. He'll be here live in Rochester. So you can hear, we're going to be asking him about this as well. If you want to understand, technocracy is an ideology. It is a philosophy of the world. It is far more dystopian, anti-God, anti-human, and terrifying than any of the other isms. Communism, socialism, fascism pale in comparison to what the originators of the philosophy of the technocracy see for mankind and for humans. And Chris Yarvin is the new kind of Yuval Harari. Remember the guru of technocracy that all of the WEF leaders, used as their philosophical sage. Chris Yarvin is that to the right. New York Times wrote up a piece on Chris Yarvin. He's a 51-year-old computer engineer. He has a philosophy of, the necessary governmental structure for the 21st century, and it is the technocracy. He says that government bureaucracy must be gutted, and we heard this terminology from Elon yesterday in the Oval Office, or the day before in the Oval Office, that the global bureaucracy and progressive wokeism are destroying everything. Democracy is destroying everything. Our constitutional system of government is destroying everything. It is outdated. It's a 20th century model, and we need to move into the new model, which is a 21st century monarchy, according to him, or techno-feudalism. He says that Americans need to get over their fear of dictators and elite global rulers. He is the darling of the right, and he is peddling this philosophy to people like J.D. Vance, who has referenced him as a tool to rid wokeism. Michael Anton is the incoming State Department official, and he has praised the idea of what Yarvin has called an American Caesar. That is a king. That is dictatorial. Mark Andreessen, you've seen him on Tucker. You've seen him on Rogan. I believe he's been on Brett Weinstein. Okay, he's a political advisor and has cited this fellow Chris Yarvin as a radical solution to the problem of a totally corrupt government. So they are using the devastation that they have created and dumped on we the people to trick us into accepting even more centralized and dystopian dictatorial government that is in the open rejecting the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, our constitutional system. In fact, I've been very dismayed by multiple conversations with people on the conservative right who are acknowledging this fully. They're saying, and they're mocking me. They're like, get over it, Shannon. We haven't had a constitution in 20 years. I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know that we were, as conservative constitutional Christians, we were just throwing the Constitution out. I didn't realize that. And handing it to a demon worshiping technocrat who calls himself a socialist, says he doesn't believe in God, and is excited to join all of the sinners in hell when he dies, because that's where the majority of the world is going to be. That's Elon Musk. So I don't know. I'm the crazy one, I guess. The guy who wants to put the literal brain chip in your brain and plug you into the interface. And I'm the crazy one. So this Chris Yarvin is on the right. He's also a fixture on right-wing media. Chris Yarvin has been featured on Tucker Carlson. Charlie Kirk has hosted him. And it is out in the open. They have taken the mask off. It is full-on dictatorship. And this is why they don't have a problem with the blatant unconstitutionality of DOGE itself and Elon Musk stepping in to a position as powerful as the president. All right. So Naomi Wolf in this piece, The Sack of Rome, Elon Musk's digital coup, lays out what happened, what did happen. And by the way, Naomi is being censored and suppressed on Twitter as well. She led this piece off with, as thanks to my warnings just in the past couple days, her links, all of her evidence, she has been called on Musk's Twitter. Again, shouldn't be surprised. He runs it. That's his playground platform. He controls everything. The narrative, everything you see on Twitter is tightly controlled by Elon Musk and the algorithms. So this does not surprise me. This is what I warned you guys about like a year and a half ago when Elon came back and, I was out of my permanent suspension. I came back on. I'm like, listen, glad to be here. But Elon Musk is a problem. This guy ideologically, philosophically, spiritually is a problem. By the way, he has a very well-known drug addiction problem. Ketamine, where else is it? Pot, LSD, cocaine. It's all on the record. he slurs his words a lot. Everything is so weird. So weird. Anyway, she goes on to say, Naomi, most genuine voices. Okay, so she's been called controlled opposition, CIA, a libtard, me too, unpatriotic, and very other epithets. She goes, most genuine voices, which may be supportive of my efforts to warn the country about this, and not least Team Trump, I cannot see on Twitter. The algorithm controlled by Musk's team is suppressing and shadow banning anyone, including anyone critical of Elon Musk himself or DOGE or Twitter. Okay. That is the power that he has on Twitter. Imagine what he can do now if he builds the social credit scoring system using the data that he could have potentially stolen with his team of technologists to create the social credit scoring system and aspects of the new digital currency. Imagine what he could do to suppress speech, general speech, nationwide with these types of algorithms, right? We don't even know we're being suppressed, or we have an idea we're being suppressed, but you cannot get a human being at Twitter. I despise Twitter right now. I despise the platform. I'm not monetized in any way. It is totally political. They can shadow ban you. They can suppress your account. They can suspend you. It's freedom of speech, but not reach. It is riddled with pornography, bots, and trolls. The messaging is disturbing and dystopian, and you cannot get a human person. You cannot get a human person. If I had an issue with my account, if someone hacked into or stole my account, if anything happened, I have never in my life been able to get a hold of a human person at Twitter, ever. And I believe that Naomi has trouble as well. Even highly platformed, people like myself unless you are plugged into like this elite group, you cannot get a hold of anyone, period. You're done. Imagine that scenario with the United States government, with DOGE at the helm, that has empowered Elon. That's the big picture here. Now, what actually happened on February 2nd, 2012? Most in conservative media are lying to you about what went down. They're saying it was read only. They're saying Victor Davis Hanson came out saying this is completely constitutional. Oh, and they're going to get rid of this agency in July of 2026. Yeah, right. They never get rid of agencies. They only empower them and add to them at the expense of our freedom and liberty. But there's a huge propaganda line from conservatives saying this is nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. He's just your friendly DOGE. And all of his technologists ranging in, early 20s to late 20s, okay, with many of them without government security clearance or high-level security clearance, with shady pasts, are, basically had an entire weekend in bed with our data. Okay, so Elon and his team gained access to $6 trillion. And this is from Naomi's piece, which is linked in the show notes of the Shannon Joy Show, The Sack of Rome, Elon Musk's Digital Coup. On February 2nd, 2025, Elon and his team get in, right? Scott Bessent, the Secretary Treasurer, gives him the keys to the castle, opens the door, carte blanche. Carte blanche. They are in, they are not scrutinized, they are not accompanied, there is no one watching them. And they said at the time, Scott Bessent said that the access was only read only. You've probably seen that repeated by conservatives and MAGA talkers and Con Inc. incessantly over the past few days. And that all they could do is go in and look, and they found, all these little snippets about USAID, and look at all the waste, fraud, and abuse that we found. And Politico got money, and NPR got money, and Angelina Jolie got money, right? And like this nice little clean propaganda snack for all of us, for, the Republican right. And everyone just gobbles it right up. Okay. Now, we've seen waste, fraud, and abuse reports before. I mentioned yesterday how many reports have come out to rile up conservatives about the little shrimpies on the exercise machine. I mean, we know that there's waste, fraud, and abuse. We know that Hollywood is funded by the government. We know that they censor. We know all these things. Okay, so all right. The access, they say, was read-only, but read-only is even deceiving because read-only could also mean copying and also machine reading, also storing, right? So they can go in and use machines to read, and they can also copy, according to Naomi in this piece. The team included Elon Musk plus Tom Kraus, who is the CEO of another likely government contractor or future government contractor. The company is Cloud Computing Engineers. Why would you need a cloud computing engineer to accompany you in to the Department of Treasury and other databases if you're just going to look and see and find waste, fraud, and abuse? He's the CEO of the software group. Musk is the CEO of 6 tech companies. Neither of those men neither of them removed themselves from their positions as CEO. They have a fiduciary responsibility, according to Naomi, as CEOs of tech companies legally to maximize profits for their companies. So according to Naomi in this piece, they cannot legally serve DOGE and their shareholders without an illegal conflict of interest. And that is a quote from Naomi Wolf. Here's another quote. If Musk's role, she asks, was simply to read the data sets and to propose cuts to the president, a reasonable and even productive role for an advisor of the president with Musk's skills, why did he need a cloud computing guy and engineers with him? Cloud computing CEOs store things. They store vast numbers of things. That is their job. What can hold all of that data? Our data, if it's copied. And she goes on to talk about what they could have done, right? This breach of cybersecurity that we were told was read-only. We know now it's not read-only, by the way, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay. Musk and his team, and this is from CSO Online. They have great concerns. This is a non-ideological organization, an industry security and cybersecurity website. Okay. I mean, they're astounded by this, astounded. And this is a quote from them. Musk and his team of young, inexperienced engineers, at least one of whom is not a U.S. citizen, have taken a number of publicly known steps that raise serious concerns among cybersecurity and privacy professionals. This cybersecurity site went on to explain, writes Naomi, other hazards caused by Team Musk's access. In a world of digital technology, code is protected to the death. These workers could have been asked by Team Musk, and he has not told us what he did. There is no transparency. It's a complete and utter lie that they are being transparent about what they did. They could have been asked by Elon Musk to demonstrate their coding skills, or they could have been asked questions about how they built their code, or even been asked for the code itself, which is valuable, highly valuable intellectual property. It's called IP that belongs to the taxpayers and who built and own it. If it was the latter, says Naomi, then DOGE's visits may turn out to have been a massive, massive theft. By scooping up patterns, platforms, and code, Team Musk may have retrieved millions or billions or trillions of dollars of taxpayer money spent on developing this tech, and also access to all of our tax returns, their competitors' tax returns, their grant information, email lists, donor lists, you name it. It's insane. All right, let's take a break. I gave you a lot there. I want to get your response. And Vidana, I see, no, just be my Valentine. You guys are great. Buskman. Yeah, if you guys have comments, questions, I'm going to take a look at the comments and questions. We're going to go to break. We're going to continue moving through this piece. It gets worse, okay? Because they told us that it was only read-only. And, I'm really frustrated with conservative media, right? Because they could at least put their thinking caps on. I get it. You love Trump. I get it. You're high on the hopium. I get it that you're really mad at Democrats for what they've done to us. They've done horrible things to us. But this level of complete sycophantic worship of unelected oligarchs who are on the record receiving billions of dollars of taxpayer money in subsidies and in government contracts, clear conflicts of interest. The idea that this is okie dokie with the conservative constitutionalists, conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones it's unfathomable. It really is. They are doing a great disservice to their audience. What is the problem of talking about this? Like, what is so bad about Naomi Wolf positing these questions, asking these questions, holding people in positions of power accountable? Why is that, so dastardly to have the impact of MAGA and Connie wanting to cancel people like us? It's insane. It's insane. All right, we're going to go to break. I'll take a deep breath and we will continue through this story. And then we are going to come back also with what I think is going to go down with the economy. Great overview of what we can expect moving forward so that we can prepare. We'll be back in a moment right here on the Shannon Joy Show.
After a lifetime of hard work and smart investing, the last thing you want to worry about is losing your retirement savings. Hi, I'm Paul Stone, CEO of Colonial Metals Group. We specialize in helping hardworking Americans like you take back control of their financial future, safeguard their savings. In economic times like these, millions turn to physical precious metals as a form of insurance, while conventional investment choices face challenges or even collapse. If you have an IRA, 401k, or other type of retirement account, my team at Colonial Metals Group would like to help you build a financial protection plan outlining the most secure future for you. We've put together a free protection kit showing how you can start investing in precious metals 100% tax and penalty free to protect and grow your wealth. You can download it for free now by clicking the button below. Customers, we're very proud to say, across the country have been very impressed by my team's in-depth knowledge of financial history and their ability to listen to you. We hold the same conservative values you hold and ones our great nation was built on. And we can't wait to start helping you and working with you. Again, just click the button below to download our retirement protection kit for free now.
Hey everyone. So you know what is scarier than a storm or a blackout? Being completely cut off, alone, no phone, no internet, no way to reach anyone. This is why I trust sat123.com and their satellite phones to keep me connected no matter what. With a satellite phone from Sat123, it doesn't matter if you're out in the wilderness or caught in the middle of a disaster. This phone works when cell towers don't. It's the ultimate tool for staying in touch when everything else has failed. Here's the best part. Sat123.com is family owned, 100% committed to quality and reliability, and they believe in keeping you and your family safe wherever you are. Right now, if you go to sat123.com/joy, that is sat123.com/joy, and use the JOY promo code, JOY, for 10% off, you'll get 10% off your entire order, which is a phenomenal deal from an amazing company that supports the Shannon Joy Show. Be ready for anything. Stay connected with sat123.com/joy. Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show. And that's just one of the concerns Naomi mentions in this piece that we're talking about, the sack of Rome, Elon Musk's digital coup. All of the information and the data that Elon and his team could have obtained on February 2nd, the weekend of February 2nd, could really put our national infrastructure at risk. We could look at cyber attacks and security breaches, and you don't know what could happen. And this is why I'm really thankful for Tina Blanco and the team at the Satellite Phone Store. They are amazing sponsors of the Shannon Joy Show, long-term sponsors of the show, and so good to us. I just so appreciate them. And they have everything that you need to be prepared should there be a cyber attack or a natural disaster. Obviously, they have the satellite phones, which I have. This is my satellite phone. Super easy to set up. They have real people standing by to help you with all of the technology, but this is set up and ready to go. If the towers go down, my sat phone works, and that's sat123.com/joy. That's sat123.com/joy. They also have a bivy stick. So I'm making a care package for my son, Jack, who is just outside of Baltimore at college. And I sent him down with the bulletproof Faraday backpack and some cash and, like prepper stuff. My daughter's like, what do you guys know that I don't know? She's like, you're making me nervous, Mom. I'm like, we're just going to be prepared. That's all. There's no harm in being prepared. And the next care package, though, is going to contain the bivy stick, which is unbelievable. It is a technology. You basically plug it into your existing cell phone, and it makes your cell phone a satellite phone. It is perfect for kids in college. If you have kids that are away from home an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and you want to make sure if anything goes wrong, you have access to them, you can communicate with them, the bivy stick is absolutely perfect. Everything is 10% off. The Satellite Phone Store, sat123.com/joy. That's sat123.com/joy. When you use the joy promo code, again, everything 10% off, and they have a great deal on the satellite phones themselves. Free phone, free bulletproof Faraday backpack with a 1-year commitment to their service plan. So unbelievable company. Help support the Shannon Joy Show by patronizing the advertisers and the sponsors of this show. So thank you to the Satellite Phone Store. All right, we are back. You guys are hilarious on the chat today. Guitar Lily, this chat is hilarious today. Everyone's feisty today on the chat. You guys look good. Buskman is with us. Guitar Lily is with us. Annie, you mentioned on the live chat, Annie is producing the show, and we had a bot attack. I told you guys that the trolls and the bots, like the one position that you cannot take in political discourse today is one of rejecting both parties. Right. And the other thing that you can't do is criticize Elon Musk or DOGE if you are in the conservative media atmosphere. And so Annie had to go in, and thank God for Annie, our producer, and clean house a little bit on the live chat. Right, Annie? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Gorgeous girl. You are gorgeous. You told me you were just going to come in audio. You're like, I'm not.
I don't want to do that to your audience. I think that they've seen enough of my pictures.
Oh my gosh, you are camera ready. You are amazing. So we had some bots attack on the live chat.
So we had trolls and then bots and then spammers. But honestly, credit goes to your audience because they got my attention to it. The green alerts you were seeing, that was for me. It's like, hey, get him. But and funny enough, Shannon, it started exactly the moment you had that technical glitch. When you came back, the trolls and bots started coming in. I don't know if it's connected, but it seems like it was connected.
I'm telling you, the tech demons, they come in and they try to disrupt. And you guys, the chat is awesome. The chat is amazing. And guys, welcome Annie to the Shannon Joy Show. Tomorrow, we're going to have some fun on the show. If you have some videos, we're going to do a little freestyle tomorrow and lighten things up a little bit. And Annie has some stuff planned for us.
Yes, and it's going to be all surprise. Shannon won't even know what we're playing. So I think it'd be fun to get your surprised reaction.
I love it.
Unprepared.
I always say Fridays are like a box of chocolates on the Shannon Joy Show. You never know what you're going to get. So that's going to be super fun. And then on Monday, again, a solo show, last show of the week. I'm going on break. It's winter break for the kids here in New York. So when my kids are home, Mama's home too. So we're going to head down to Florida to visit my sister. And I'm just going to unplug from the bots and the trolls and the Twitter and everything digital, put my feet in the sand, get lots of vitamin D, refreshed and ready to go. And then we'll be back next week, the week after. So next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I won't be here. Paul Stone of Colonial Metals Group is going to fill in for me and guest host on Tuesday, which will be super fun. And then we're going to be doing best of shows Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Annie's going to pick them out, right?
Yes. And before I forget, I want to put this out for anybody who's not able for any reason to come to Shannon's summit. It's okay, because myself and my collaborator, we will be traveling there. We're taking our equipment and we're gonna be live streaming the event for her. So just make sure to tune into her Rumble channel so you don't miss it.
I see, that's a surprise. She surprises me. So you guys are definitely coming. Oh, I am so pumped. I am so pumped. The last summit that we did here in Rochester, New York, 1,000 people. The first summit we did, 1,200 people at Bethel Christian Fellowship. That was Peter McCullough. And then the last one we did, we had about 1,000 people. We did well over 500,000 views at the last summit on just my Rumble channel and Twitter. Now, Annie, this show is platformed in so many other places. Patriot TV partnership, which is amazing. Go to patriot.tv/joy, by the way, if you want to support me over there. The partnership with Patriot TV. X America News is platforming the Shannon Joy Show on Rumble and also on Twitter. They're doing great views there too, right, Annie?
Yes, we are actually, as you were saying about your possibility of being suppressed or shadow banned or banned on X. I was like, well, it's okay. We keep running your show on X America News because your numbers are really amazing. And also the stream from your summit will also be live streaming on X America News X account as well. We're going to push it, whatever the result.
We're going to bust over 1 million. I know we're going to bust over 1 million views for that summit. And guys, the summit is amazing. These are some of the most brilliant thinkers, organizers, activators, scientists, medical doctors, philosophers, economists on one stage. Q&A. I'll be sitting with them. We're not doing the presentation style this time around. We're doing a conversation style. So I'm going to have 3 panels of 3 guests, and they're going to interact with each other on the stage. There's also going to be a ton of time for you guys to interact with them as well at Bethel. We're going to have nice long breaks for them to sign books or talk to all of you, take pictures, answer questions. It's going to be such an amazing event. Tickets are on sale right now, by the way, at summitfortruth.com. That is summitfortruth.com. All right.
So I'm going to step back into my producer office and let you finish the show. I normally do this in your ear only, but we only have 8 minutes to wrap up.
8 minutes to wrap up. And I want to get to this. Thank you so much, Annie. And you guys, Annie, such a blessing, an answer to prayers. And so thankful for her support. And I'm so happy that she's coming to the summit. We're going to have a great time. I want to get to, so I got you started on the Naomi piece. There's a lot more to it. And maybe we'll go through the second half tomorrow on the Shannon Joy Show. But I definitely wanted to read to you this thread on Twitter. And this is the other reason I'm really irritated with conservative media right now. Okay. Now, I grew up on conservative media. I was a Rush Limbaugh kind of gal, was listening to him when I was a little kid, Mark Levin, Dr. Laura Schlesinger, Sean Hannity, you name it. Like that was, and I only emancipated myself from the Republican Party about 10 years ago. And then I've slowly, I guess, been emancipating from conservative media because they're not covering things like this. And it's really, this stuff is low-hanging fruit. You can love Trump and support him and be hopeful, but also tell your audience the truth about what is coming so that you can help them protect themselves. This is from Matt Smith. And a lot of this stuff I have to get from, liberals because, or I guess they would be called liberals, but they're, now I'm seeing that they're just truthful people. Matt Fies on Twitter, 11,000 followers. This thread got 4 million impressions and growing, and is being reposted by people that I trust. This is what he wrote. Buckle up. There's a massive move happening in the gold market that almost nobody is talking about. Huge physical deliveries, shortages in London, gold flowing into the U.S. at record levels. Someone with deep pockets is scooping up gold, likely the U.S. Treasury or the Fed. Why is this happening? His theory, they are preparing for a full-on gold audit, meaning they're reshoring gold they might have leased out. Once audited, the gold could form the backbone of a new monetary system. This could signal a seismic shift in the dollar's status and value. Will the dollar continue to be the world reserve currency? The pressure from BRICS is very new. This is something that the US has not grappled with in all of the years of us devaluing our dollar and using the petrodollar to wield influence and wage war across the globe. The BRICS pressure is what is changing a lot of this. The end game, he writes, a major devaluation of the US dollar, means your dollar tanks, to reset America's global competitiveness. Think back to 1971, Nixon shutting the gold window. Paul Stone has talked about this. Or 1985, the Plaza Accord. This time, it might be even bigger. Some are calling it the Mar-a-Lago Accord. Okay, so this is how big a deal. Trump is going to navigate and negotiate this. What just happened? Was that you, Annie? In my...
Still working.
Oh my gosh, that's my phone. It was my phone just scared me.
Something went wrong. Please try again.
I must have said Siri. Okay, shut up, Siri. Annie, I thought that was you. All right, she's talking to me. Okay, so going on with this thread. Sorry about that, guys. Tariffs are the key. They aren't just about the steel, aluminum, or stopping fentanyl. They're the cudgel to force other companies to accept a new currency regime. The U.S. wants to drive down the dollar's value versus the yuan, euro, yen, etc., to boost exports and domestic industry. Meanwhile, Trump's team is talking up a sovereign wealth fund. This means turning America's natural resources, mineral rights, and strategic assets into equity. Suddenly, the balance sheet of the United States doesn't look so terrible if we're taking into account all of the land and the water and the minerals and the wealth. But watch for inflation, he says, because that's the plan too. Inflation crushes current debts, government and private, but it also punishes everyday people like you and me with higher prices. The bet is that wages will rise too, thanks to new industrial policies like forcing profits to be reinvested in the US. And this is a nod to China's model, ironically. This is the key part, okay? And some people on the right who believe in Trump and think that he is coming in to save us all and not to usher in the new world order. I tend to think he's coming in to usher in the new world order and the controls, but that's just my opinion. The reality is this is where we are. This is what is happening, okay? Whether you like Trump or not. And he's going to have decisions to make regarding what to do. And this is a really critical part of this thread. If it goes right, if Trump does the right thing, we end up with a gold-backed or partially gold-backed currency, new capital controls, and a two-tier dollar, domestic versus international. The Fed could even get scrapped, replaced by something like stablecoin tech, but with the gold in the vault behind it. Now, I don't trust that, right? And you're seeing all of the propaganda around Ron Paul and eliminating the Federal Reserve. I mean, they're gearing up for something. Now, this guy thinks that, oh, this is great. We're going to have a new crypto or a new stable coin, but it's going to be backed by gold, right? Because all this gold stuff is happening. I'm saying, hold up, they're going to use this to devastate Main Street and you and me and usher in the new global digital currency and the social controls. That's my fear. I could be wrong, okay? And he acknowledges that here. He goes, this is either a brilliant adult solution to an unsustainable debt spiral, which we have. The writing is on the wall. It's over. It's done. This is coming. He said, so this is either a brilliant adult solution to an unsustainable debt spiral or a step towards a heavily managed, non-free, tyrannical, technocratic market system, global. He says possibly both. Either way, the message is something must change or the whole thing breaks. So they're doing it. They're breaking it. Okay? If you're a regular person, what do? He says holding on to physical gold is the hedge against collapsing dollar. Expect big changes in trade, currency, prices for everything. This could move fast as early as March, mid-March. Beware the Ides of March. I hope not. The 70s had staggering inflation. This time it might be more dramatic. I mentioned to you 2 to 3 times what we're seeing. The inflation news just out the other day had everyone, totally surprised. I can't believe we have more inflation. Well, duh. You keep printing money. Of course, you're going to have more inflation. And Trump is saying he wants to print more money. He wants to raise the debt ceiling. He wants to keep interest rates artificially low. So he said, bottom line, prepare for major monetary reset, one that is orchestrated tragically by the tech bros. I mean, we got to hope and pray that they have our best interests at heart. And that's what a lot of people on my side are saying. They're like, Shannon, this is just coming. We're just going to have to hope and pray that they take care of us. I'm like, hell no. I'm going to get ready to resist, right? We need to get ready to be solvent as individuals, align locally, and resist whatever BS they're going to throw at us. These aren't half-baked theories. You can see it in the gold flows, Trump's policy picks, the talk of sovereign wealth fund, and the looming forced reevaluation. Stay alert. Keep an eye on gold, tariffs, and rumblings about auditing the U.S. reserves. We're going to continue this discussion tomorrow. We have run out of time. I gave you a lot right there. Thank you guys so much on the live chat. You are amazing today. Thank you for helping me today. Thank you for identifying the bots and being so kind to Annie. Make sure you join us at the Summit for Truth and Wellness. I want to meet every single one of you personally and shake your hand and give you a hug. I'm a hugger. All right. So I'm super friendly. It's going to be such an amazing event. March 29th, summitfortruth.com. Get your tickets right now. Summitfortruth.com. Thank you guys for being with me today. We have a whole show together tomorrow as well. We're going to continue with these 2 themes because there's more that I need to tell you to help to prepare you and your family so that we can survive and also thrive no matter what these bastards throw at us, right? Thank you so much for being with us. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all again right here on the Shannon Joy Show.